Kamen Rider Wizard is a series I'm somewhat conflicted on. It's really good, no doubt about it, but the thing that puts it down for me is the pacing. So Kamen Rider Den-O started a trend for 2-episode arcs for one monster storyline, which worked well for Den-O and the seasons preceding it, but for Wizard, not so much. There's a lot of good content in Wizard, but it doesn't feel fitted for a 2-episode arc quota, meaning the show feels slow-paced, and I don't think it enhances anything. It just makes the series feel bloated, which makes the fact that it's the longest Heisei series a detriment rather than a strength. Despite all that, I still think Wizard is very good. It's just not the breeziest binge watch. Seriously, if you want to watch Wizard, I beg you not to binge watch it. Watch it at your own pace. It will make for a more enjoyable experience. As for the actual contents of Wizard, it stars Haruto Soma, a wizard who fights phantoms and saves people from despair. While this basic premise leads to episodic storytelling, it does provide Wizard with its thematic backbone, being the villains are born out of people's depression and sadness. In fact, fighting through that despair is what made Haruto become a Kamen Rider in the first place. This theme of emotional turmoil is even extended to a major villain, who I will not show or name because of spoilers. But after he is grief-stricken due to a tragic event, he goes through all these villainous actions in his grief to reverse that tragedy. This fits perfectly with the show's thematic thesis of overcoming despair, with its major villain unable to overcome said despair. As for the other characters, some people have prematurely assumed that Haruto is a boring character since a major moment of his arcs happens off-screen, but that couldn't be further from what I saw in Haruto. He's a laid-back yet snarky guy who still gets development like in the soccer episodes, where he learned about his past ambitions and dreams before becoming a Kamen Rider. He's a really cool main writer, and definitely someone I'd look up to when I was younger. As for Nito, aka Kamen Rider Beast, if you look past his mayonnaise running gag, he's a pretty cool secondary writer who does a lot of heavy lifting and inspiring others and beating the villain. Nito is very passionate and hyperbolic about his mission compared to Haruto's cool and in-control demeanor, which makes for a great contrast in personalities between the two. Also, I love that his rider powers come from a curse with a beast that requires him to defeat phantoms to feed the beast, which is a super cool concept. There's 3 other Kamen Riders that get introduced at the tail end of the series, being referred to as mages, and despite their limited screen time, they manage to be quite interesting. My favorite of the 3 is Masahiro, whose main motivation for fighting the phantoms is to protect his wife and unborn child. I'm a sucker for dad characters who fight for their family, so even if he doesn't get much screen time as the other 2, he's still the one that stuck out in my mind the most. In terms of aesthetics, Wizard is based on jewels and elements, which makes for some shiny suits, so my favorite part is the flowing long coat that adds more style to Wizard's action scenes. That's really all I got to say on aesthetics, to be honest. They just look very pretty. I'm sorry this analysis is one of the shorter ones, but writing this was hard, not just because the Vacuuminator already made a banger Wizard analysis that covered every aspect of the show very well, but because Wizard is a season that conflicts me a lot. The side cast, who I didn't even mention, feel really forgettable outside of Rinko, and the plots being stretched to meet the 2-episode arc quota can make the series feel very slow. However, Wizard is still good. The main 2 Kamen Riders are a lot of fun. The plots of the week and how they connect to the thematic backbone can be really interesting. The suits and action choreography are simply beautiful. The villains are great foils to the heroes, even if I didn't discuss them that much. And above all else, its core thesis of accepting despair to find hope is a really powerful one that fits a show like Kamen Rider perfectly. It may not be my go-to recommendation, but I'd still say give Kamen Rider Wizard a chance.